Sunny Mac Help here. Um, well, a lot of people which want to buy a new computer, um, sometimes they struggle on which to choose. Some say, I need this really fast computer, but it has to be easy to use. Now, of course, people may have difficulties choosing the perfect computer for them, and even I have problems choosing computers for myself. So basically, first thing is you need to know what you want. Know what you want to get from this computer you're going to purchase. Now, some people ask me, if you want a fast computer, you have to get a Mac, right? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, Macs are fast, yeah, but of course you are paying $8,000 for 8,000 Hong Kong, which is 1,000 US or a bit less, I guess, for a MacBook Pro, for the 13-inch MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro does have decent performance, but you're paying, you're paying 1,000 for that, and with that 1,000, you can probably get a desktop with 2 times the performance of that computer. But sometimes if I say, oh, you can get a desktop and be way better than a notebook, you never know, because a desktop, sometimes, some people are always on the go and they want a laptop instead. Well, if you really want a laptop, there are not really small computers like this which will give you superior performance. So if you really want a notebook with a lot of performance, you have to get it big, and the bigger the screen, normally the faster the processor for most companies. And see this 13-inch MacBook, yeah, it's got a 2.4 gigahertz processor. Now on the MacBook Pro 13-inch, it's only a 2.53 gigahertz processor, even the highest version. Well, because it's hard to fit such technology in something like this. Well, you could, of course, you have to have space for the fans and all that stuff. Well, really, but if the laptop's too big for you, it's quite hard to carry around, and of course, choosing the perfect computer is pretty much a problem. So, if you it really depends what you actually do with your laptop. What do you want the laptop to do for you? So if you are just gonna browse the web and really do some text editing, PowerPoints, presentations, small spreadsheets, not big ones, small spreadsheets, go get a netbook. Yeah, a netbook which is maybe like 1.2 gigahertz will do the job for you. Or if you really want something which is really easy to use and doesn't have all that, if you're really focused into word processing and you don't really do anything else except for word processing and internet, and even, if you're like a businessman which doesn't really do anything, you can go get an iPad, yeah, if you want it to be easy to use. But of course, remember, iPad is something like this, but this big. So remember, there are some technical disadvantages with the iPad. It has no flash player. So if you were, like, say I'm a businessman, I'm on a plane, I want to play a game, it's pretty much impossible on the web. Of course, on the iPad you can download apps which can extend its functionality. But of course, with the iPad you are facing some disadvantages in software. Hardware is not such a big problem, but software, yes. Hardware-wise, you can't really upgrade the iPad yourself. And I actually doubt that Apple will do it for you. And of course it doesn't have any camera in it. That's going to be a problem. So let's move on from the iPad. If you want pure power, if you're a game a game developer, use really advanced applications, and you really want a lot of performance in your computer. Um, and if you want it to be simple to use, you may want to buy a Windows desktop. And of course, with the new Windows 7, it's quite easy to use. Unlike Vista, which is really hard to use, I know some of you may disagree, but my experience with Vista was not very good either. So basically, if you want a desktop with pure power, you can go to basically any company, and you can ask them for i7 or i5. That will give you a lot of processing power. Now, if you say, I'm a YouTuber, hang on, I'm a YouTuber. A lot of people say that, oh, Macs are good at video editing. And I do understand nearly about 60 or more percent of YouTubers use Macs. And of course, there are some easy to use applications on Mac, which are really easy to use. And they're actually made for YouTube. They can upload directly to YouTube. Now, one of the ones I have myself is Final Cut Studio or Final Cut Pro. I do understand most people use Final Cut Express because they don't wish to spend that much money, and of course, some people may not have the need for all that Soundtrack Pro stuff. The reason I bought Final Cut Studio is, of course, I do write songs, and really, I didn't know what it really was. Yeah, I actually knew it was a video editing, but I knew there was like Apple Motion and all that stuff inside, but I didn't really, pay a lot of attention to it. But moving on, Final Cut Studio is really easy to use, but first time you look at it, it may look very, very difficult to use. I had my Final Cut Studio for about 3 to 4 weeks now. When I first looked at it, I actually remember, oh my god, how do you use this? And I've been using iMovie for all my previous videos. I've only started uploading with Final Cut Pro very recently. So basically, in iMovie you have to import all the videos into iPhoto. Then you drag the photos, the photos into iMovie. Yeah, then you make a video. So in Final Cut Pro, it was completely different infrastructure. So if you work on iMovie and you're gonna switch to Final Cut Express or Pro, I would really recommend you read the manuals before you actually install the software. Every time you have a problem, go to the search, the little help bar, or consult the manual. Consulting the manual is probably the best way, because normally the help bar does not always provide you with everything you want. But of course, I understand that people say there are a lot of great video editings on Mac, programs on Mac. Of course, I am guessing only, yeah, but I'm guessing that there are at least 10 times more video editing software on Windows than Mac. Well, some people may say that they're not as easy to use, but I am probably pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that the effects and the quality of the video can actually match Final Cut and even exceed by a lot than Final Cut Studio. Well, some people say that let's move on from the software into computers. Okay, basically, some people say that actually no, and a huge factor in what computer you choose and which one is right for you actually also is on the price. Yeah, say if you found this perfect computer for you, perfect speed, perfect everything,